Boom. There we go. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Talking Average Fitness podcast. This is the Good Morning America version. This is the earliest we've ever done the podcast in the day. Kevin's got other things to do at our normal time. I was fine to keep it to where it was, but being a father and a coach, I am
Yes.
well versed in getting up early and arming myself with an extremely large cup of coffee. That's who I am and what I'm here for. Kevin, how the hell
Yeah.
are you today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm already one cup of coffee and two classes deep in the
Oh,
day. Um,
just a little
so
maybe.
just, a little bit.
Un petit
Um,
peu.
yeah. So the old, we talked about in the last podcast, the early morning, that morning shift wake up, the best.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how long you've slept, 4:30 still comes really early.
Yeah.
Um, so
Caffeine
we're already
dreams.
Oh, that's exactly right. Caffeine and dreams is what we're running on today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Busy day. So luckily, I've got a friend and cohort who's relatively flexible and understands the deal. So when I
Amen.
texted him yesterday, I said, "Hey man, can we do this a little a little bit earlier? I have a 1 hour gap right here. Can we do this then?"
What do you think about 7:30?
Hey man, so I know we normally do midday. How does 7:30 sound?
Awesome. All right. So being mindful of time, right? Um,
Yes.
so one of the things that we've had on the docket, we keep, of course, we've talked about it, a big running list of things that we eventually want to get to, we eventually want to speak about, was just the word culture, and then in parentheses, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Um, and thinking
I
about
put
it
that one
now,
in there.
maybe, yeah. And thinking about it now, maybe it's not the fact that some gyms have culture and some gyms don't have culture. It's
Mhm.
more the differences in culture
Yes.
between affiliates.
Hmm.
Um, because the affiliate model is a very unique model for like a service industry. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yep.
Um, so to be and this actually confuses a lot of people. A lot of people, especially when they first find out about CrossFit, they don't understand that CrossFit, big parent umbrella UFO CrossFit, doesn't control your average affiliate, right?
Hmm.
Because McDonald's, big parent umbrella McDonald's, does control the local McDonald's that you go to, as an example.
Yep.
Same thing with Starbucks, same thing with Dunkin' Donuts, insert chain here.
Insert company. Yeah.
Yeah. So the difference, um, it's a it's a big difference in practice and a small difference in wording. So those are franchises, right?
Yeah.
And a
Hmm.
franchise, um, you have the licensing and all of the stuff that is provided by that company, and then you might be the manager, but you run it based on their rules, right? Um,
Yep.
but you also really don't own anything, right? So there's none of that that is yours. You're just the GM of that Starbucks or whatever. With an affiliate model, very different. Gyms that are CrossFit affiliates pay to use the name CrossFit, right? As a part of that, that's if you've ever heard us talk about an affiliate fee, that's kind of what we're talking about. And there's a bunch of other stuff that gets folded into that, and we should do a podcast at some point about the value that affiliates get for
Hmm.
the $3,000 they pay every year to use the name CrossFit.
Yep.
But that's beyond that. The model was specifically set up so that you could run your business the way you wanted to run your business, right? And like, um, if Kevin and I opened separate affiliates, um, Greg Glassman was a rabid libertarian
Hmm.
and believed very much in a capitalist model, like the market will out essentially. If I have a whole bunch of gyms and these gyms are affiliates rather than franchises, then the good amongst them will survive
Hmm.
because they'll be delivering the best service and therefore they'll generate revenue appropriate to that service and they'll survive.
Hmm.
Um, and so that was his intention. That's why we have the thing the way it is. for better or for worse. Um, but that means you can't count on shit being the
Yep.
same at all
Nope.
between gyms.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's like the Wild West every time you walk into a CrossFit affiliate.
it is. And we've talked about this a few times when we mentioned programming and stuff like that. And, that's one aspect of it is that when you go to a CrossFit gym, they are doing CrossFit in some way, shape, or form. We can
Yeah,
argue back and forth that like
yeah,
certain versions of it aren't exactly CrossFit based on the methodology and whatnot. But for the sake of the argument,
yeah.
every single CrossFit affiliate is doing CrossFit in some way, shape, or form,
Yes.
but it's going to look different from gym to gym to gym
Mm-hmm.
because we've talked about with Pat Barber the essential game of telephone that happened as Greg Glassman created the methodology, and then it spider-webbed outwards as people learned about it and then implemented their own bias and twist on it.
Mm-hmm.
um, it starts to look different from place to place. So that's one major difference is each gym has the ability to do their own programming, do what
Mm-hmm.
they'd like to do. Now, that can look different from gym to gym, where there are companies that offer affiliate programming.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of them out there.
Yeah.
But basically, you as the gym owner pay a subscription fee, and then they give you the workouts and lesson plans to do at your gym. They're like, here's that done. You just do this.
Yeah.
Um, and again, that leads to a broad spectrum of when you walk into a CrossFit gym, what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be, you have, for we keep making fun of Mayhem, but it's the one that pops up is like not making fun of, but like you've got Rich Froning and his team that put
Yeah.
together their affiliate model
Yeah.
or programming and give it to you.
Yeah.
All the way kind of like from there, like that level of expertise and
Mm-hmm.
experience in programming, all the way down to someone who just passed their level 1 last weekend, open an affiliate and is like, I'm going to write the programming.
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
and everywhere in between, and that runs
Mm-hmm.
the whole gambit of what's happening at CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
Now, again, as Sam said, the cream will rise to the top. That people that implement things the best and provide the best service, their business will survive the longest. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, how many 10-year affiliates do we have at this point? How many 20-year affiliates exist? Do we have any yet? 20-year?
I don't know if we have any 20-year affiliates. I think we're right at the 20-year anniversary roughly for
Okay.
CrossFit.
Okay.
I mean, the first journal articles were published 2002.
I think
So
so. Yeah.
so we're a little past that. I think the first affiliates were
2005, 2006.
0405, something
Okay.
like that.
So we're
So we're
getting there.
coming
There
right
might
up
be
on it.
coming right up. So, I mean, there are affiliates that have been around for 15 plus years
Yeah.
because they do the thing really well and they serve their people and their community really well.
Yeah.
And again, what that means doesn't mean that an affiliate that has lasted 15 years, that they're all doing the same thing. It just means that whatever they're doing
Yeah.
serves their community and their people in the way that suits that community and those people. Um, and go ahead.
Uh,
So I have an argument for this. So go ahead.
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay,
I
why not?
think whatever they're doing suits the whims of the owner, not
Okay.
necessarily the community.
Well, but if it's working for that community, like if that business is still in operation 15 years, even if it was from the whim of the owner, where they're like, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
I'm Mr. Owner guy. We're gonna do burpee backflips and rollerblading
Yeah.
intervals,"
Yeah.
and then the people that are, and you still have 250 members at your gym being like, "We fucking love burpee backflips and rollerblade intervals," then
Sure.
like,
Right. Right. Right.
it that
All right.
then
So
then the
on a
owner's gonna be
long
like,
enough
"Sick, we're gonna keep rolling."
so on a long enough time scale, the whims of the owner, if accepted by the community,
Okay.
are quote unquote the things that work for the community.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry,
Yep.
that's where I was going with that.
Okay.
I mean, we know as coaches what works for people and what's going to give them the best like fitness for their thing. But again,
Yeah.
if an affiliate owner is like, I'm going to open an affiliate, hula hoops every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and you get 250 people that go, fuck yeah, hula hoops,
Right. Right.
then that business is going to keep going and they're going to be a 15-year affiliate because they're doing hula hoops, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. I've had this conversation with a few people about, because talking with a few members about like
Mm.
difference in programming and how does this gym run, how does that gym do their thing. I'm like, look, each gym runs differently, and it's whatever
Mm-hmm.
works for that owner and that community, and that, like, it's all going to look a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I can't say, I can disagree with it and say I don't agree with how that operates or what they're doing in their affiliate. That's not how I would run my affiliate per se.
Yep.
However, if their business is going and they're making the money, and they got 200 people that they're making happy and healthier than when they walked in those doors,
Mm-hmm.
then for me, I don't feel right calling that wrong. I'm not going to be like they're running their affiliate wrong, because clearly, if they've been doing this for years, the business is still going, they're
Yep.
making people happier and healthier than when they walked in on day one,
Yep.
then then that's what that community is doing, and rock on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can disagree with that. Well, let's put it this way: I can't disagree with that. I'm not going to speak for literally every other human. Of course, you could disagree with that if you wanted to. I I like the notion of, if you pick a thing and you do a thing, and people are willing to come and transact for that thing, and part of that thing is not bodily harm, right? Then that sounds like a pretty good deal. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like to a certain extent, Greg is was really really smart about this. Like, if you want to be successful and you want to stick around, um, you have to provide something that people are willing to transact for, right? And that's either because it has to be attractive enough in and of itself, or you have to be good enough in conveying the value of that thing. And in either case, kudos to you, bro. You've either found a thing or you're a really good salesman.
Yeah.
And so that's affiliates in a nutshell and
Affiliates in a
podcast.
nutshell. Yep.
Um,
And rant.
and rant. Well, so culture is like a subset of all of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So programming is a great example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some gyms, and it's not maybe the whole gym, but like there can be cliques within a gym, and
Yep.
especially depending on who the owner is and who the coaches are. Um, a lot of times cliques can form like around the coaches and what the coaches do, or
Yep.
around groups of members who. This is one example: groups of members who do competitive programming, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because they want to do well in the open, they want to make it to quarterfinals or RIP regionals. Um, so that kind of thing is one example of culture. A gym that either through omission or commission supports that group of people doing that thing. And because of that omission or commission, you've got a bunch of people in the community who are not part of that group that are doing that programming and trying to reach that level, who can put that group on a pedestal, right? That's one
Yep.
example of culture. There are, to swing the other way, I've seen examples of culture where um, we don't do any open gym. You do the class programming or nothing. You are
Mm-hmm.
not allowed to do competitor programming, and you have to take class. Like if you're a coach or something, it's mandated in your contract. You have to take a class, and um, that was a very different culture, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And And what's wild about this is we have enough affiliates now where, like, if you could think it up, almost certainly there's an affiliate that exhibits that kind of thing. Um, I I have been in affiliates. At some point, we should tell culture horror stories. Um, Spoiler alert: I have been in affiliates where the person who was running the class, I will not call this person a coach. The person who was running the class,
They took their own class.
no, There's that too.
Okay,
But
okay, all right. So I thought that's where you were going with it.
no, no, this person was the least interested human I've ever seen. Like,
Mm.
like treated the class like an annoying puppy. And there was no teaching. There, it was like, it was just one rung above, like, uh, in the state of Maine, we had like summer rec programs where basically adults would drop their kids off for the summer. And so, like, you'd have rec counselors. And imagine a room full of 30 kids and the adults being required to deal with that, where they're like, okay, none of what these kids are doing is anything I'm interested in. And so I'll deal with the issues as they come up, but that's the bare minimum that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that's what it was like being in that class.
Wow.
Yeah.
I say again, we're just gonna be we could talk horror stories the whole time. I've been in an affiliate where um, the coach leading class, again, quote unquote coach, was
Coach.
like, hey guys, go do this. And then
Yep.
as soon as people were like, I captain got it and started moving on, coach does this. Just
Yep.
phone whipped out, just hanging out on their phone, looking at Lord knows what social media, I'm sure. And it's just like as soon as 5 minutes are up and someone goes, what's next? They look up and go, oh yeah, go do some of this, right back to their phone. And I'm like, oh, alrighty.
Yep.
So did like things run the gambit, the whole deal. And
Well, and this is a byproduct
yeah,
of setting things up in the affiliate model like that. um, so there are costs and there are benefits. The benefits are, God bless Greg Glassman, rabid libertarian. You create an opportunity for somebody to create something that is an extension of CrossFit or an offshoot from CrossFit. And this is in no way throwing them under the bus, but Mayhem's a great example of that. Like, Mayhem was originally CrossFit Project Mayhem, which was their first affiliate uh that Froning had, and then it, like, later they moved to a new location, became CrossFit Mayhem. Um, how many brands are an offshoot of that one business venture that was CrossFit Mayhem?
oh man, they've got. I mean, if we want to go down, you got Train with Rich, you've got
Yep.
Good Dudes Coffee, you've got Buffalo Brew Coffee, you've got Froning
Froning
Farms.
Farms.
Yep,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
So, like, all of that, like, Rich would not have been in a position to do any of that, one, without CrossFit and competitive
Right.
CrossFit,
Yep.
but also, two, without the experience of owning and operating Mayhem, right?
Mhm.
and and I'm making an assumption here. I don't know anything about his ownership structure, so maybe he was never involved, and maybe he just, like, had a dude who was, like, really good at running the place. It's irrelevant because all of those brands, all of those businesses, all of that revenue, and the people who are employed at the gyms, at those businesses, for the marketing, for the social media, like, all of that came out of one affiliate, right?
Yep. Yep.
Hundreds of millions of dollars are being
Yep.
generated from the business acumen learned from that one affiliate. And that's an amazing thing. And say what you want, your opinions about Mayhem programming aside, you don't get to argue with the objective success of the Mayhem programming model and the businesses that have come out of that.
Yeah. Oh, that they're the best at what they do.
Yeah.
I
They're
mean, the
and even
the
if
the
they're
proof's
not
in
the
the
best.
proof's in the pudding.
See, and this is where, like, I don't do competitive CrossFit, right?
Right.
I
Right.
was too old when I got into it. And I I wonder sometimes, and this is totally off topic, but I wonder sometimes if the success, I wonder how much of the success is marketing and the hard work of the individual versus the programming. and and this is where like high level competitive CrossFitters, like semifinals cats, like if you hear this and you want to come at me and please correct me, then please do so. I would love to be educated in this particular realm.
Mhm. I mean, through our conversations, I mean, we just as like my view on that, we
Yeah,
all know that programming isn't magic. There is nothing otherworldly in any sort of workout program or programming. There's no secret sauce. The secret sauce is how much effort you're willing to put into it.
sure.
If if I give Sam the most well-tailored, well put together, thoughtful, cutting edge program ever, and Sam half-asses it because he can't be bothered to put in some effort, then he's not going to get any results at all. But if I give Sam the most basic, kind of lazily thrown together program, but Sam's like, I'm gonna fucking get some, and he goes
Yeah,
after it, he's gonna get 110% of the results because of the effort and intention he puts in. So
yeah.
there's nothing magic about the programming. Programming is programming, fitness is fitness. The reason you know that is because you see people from all different programming and training camps
Yeah.
go to the games each year.
Yeah.
It's like if all 40 men and all 40 women and all 40 teams from the CrossFit Games were all mayhem athlete,
It'd be
then you could
different.
be like, okay, Rich has the secret sauce and
Right.
that programming's different. But you
Yeah.
don't see that. You
Yeah.
see it's a broad spectrum of people. You've got, people from different camps, and then you always have like a handful. They're like, I have my one specific coach. This is Bob. I met him at a gas station. He does my programming, and we're going to the games. And you have those people that like they just have like kind of their one athlete. It's a coach from their affiliate or from their local
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is programming for them and coaching them. So
Shit,
there's nothing secret.
that's Justin Medeiros.
Yeah.
Like him and his coach. It's like is that one dude and his one affiliate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And so
Yeah.
it's you see it happen. So it's like there's nothing magic in the programming, and that
Yeah.
extrapolates down to kind of bring it back to the somewhat back to the topic of affiliates. There
Yeah.
is no magic program or programming. There's nothing special. Fitness is fitness,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about the culture that you create can like either augment or take away from the effectiveness of that programming by the way you kind of teach intensity to your
Yeah.
members, the way you kind of teach or structure your workouts in a way that's not going to lead to people getting beat up or injured or
Right.
something like that. um, and part of that is the culture you create at the gym.
Yeah.
Like whether you have people that are like they want to work hard and they know what intensity is and they're going to give her a go,
Yeah.
versus I'm just here, that's it, I'm just here. And we all have those days where it's like I'm just here to move because
Yeah.
it's been a day or it's been a week and I just need to shut
Yeah.
my brain off and do
Yeah.
something. We
Yeah.
all have those days, but there definitely are gyms where that's the culture. We're just going to come in, hang out, nothing really matters, doesn't matter what weight, what time, we're just going to do stuff. And there are some gyms like that, and there's some other gyms who are like very, again, structured.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, we're using this weight, we're going this hard, no,
Mm-hmm.
this hard, I want, again, it's different from gym to gym, the culture that you create and the whole deal.
Well, and all of these things that we're talking about have been largely what's the phrase I want to use here?
I don't know.
Like coaching or programming centric. I wanted to
Mm.
find a single phrase to kind of unify those concepts, but you know, uh, how hard do they lift? How hard do they go? How easy do they go? What is expected of the athletes? Culture obviously is a much bigger topic, right? And
Yeah.
I'll give an example. So when I was in Florida this past January, I was visiting my parents, and my parents have a place in Lady Lake, so Central Florida, and we drove over to Tampa, I believe it was Tampa, to catch up with a friend, and we went to the aquarium and we walked around, and I walked. We're walking around downtown, and I walked by a place that sold fitness. Right, this was not a CrossFit box. This was another name brand facility, right? And inside of the entryway was a handwritten chalkboard, like
We lost him. He froze. Gotta love technology. Um, I'm not sure where Sam was going. I'm sure when he comes back, he will pick up his story
Like
wherever
an
he left off.
easy.
Oh, oh,
Hey,
hey, we lost you.
yeah. What was the last thing
You're
you heard?
back now. That there was a handwritten chalkboard.
Okay. Um, so there's a handwritten chalkboard, and on this chalkboard it was something to the effect of, "Hey Sarah, congratulations on 200 workouts."
Mhm.
You know, and you're killing it. We're so proud of you. Insert accolades here. Um, and the comment that I made at the time was like, so like a lot of gyms have check-in systems,
Mhm.
like Tribe or Zen Planner or whatever it is to manage class attendance, and those systems are great. Um, but the way they're really awesome is how you use that data. So if your gym makes you do check-ins, and the only thing that they do with that data is then the coach can see, cool, I got 12 people in class and I got 10 rowers. I got to do something about that. Like that's one level of interaction. But if you have a person who's regularly running a report that says, oh, this is Sarah's 200th workout, text, coach. Hey, we should do something special for Sarah. Will you write up a chalkboard saying congratulations or whatever? Like as a culture piece, like that
Mhm.
costs, that does nothing but cost the gym money because it's like time on behalf of whoever ran that report and time on behalf of that coach, and none of those things go to like directly like serving the class.
Mhm.
And yet that member who walks in, it does nothing but connect them more to that
Mhm.
business and to that community. And every
Yep.
other person who sees that, like the other people who are in Sarah's class, they're going to know and they're going to congratulate Sarah. Like then it becomes a thing. Like,
Yep.
oh, when do you hit your 200 or whatever, whatever the number is. Like now you've started something inside of a community where people recognize each other. You've built it like a built-in anniversary system or something like that. And like that's when I think about culture, that's the kind of thing I think about.
Yeah.
Um, how
You know,
like
we
how is the business set up to create an experience for the people in the community?
yeah. With that's I love that. And as soon as you started going with that, like that's what we do here at Tilt. We have you know, basically going every 500. So we have like 500 club, 1,000 club, and then we just had two people that popped into the 1,500 clubs. They've taken 1,500 classes at a CrossFit Tilt,
Bro,
which is like if you do some math real quick, assuming you train 5 days a week, you do some quick math there. That's a lot of years. So but what we do is like when we see someone like their thing ticks over to 500, they get a post in the group Facebook page. Congratulations to such and such hitting 500 classes. Amazing dedication. It's been awesome seeing you go from here to here and make that progress.
yeah,
We all love having you in class, the whole thing, and they get a framed picture up on the wall. So
awesome.
as soon as they hit 500, they get a picture up on the wall, and it kind of like lines around the gym like a certain lap around of picture up on the
Yes,
wall.
I got
Um,
goosebumps.
yeah.
Fuck
so
yes.
so that's the deal of what we do here, because that's something that we believe in, that as Sam said, like it can take some time and some effort and the whole deal, but the return on that you get in your
Mm,
community is
priceless.
awesome. And like when
Yeah,
people get to their 500th class, it's a big deal.
yeah.
So, and then obviously like continuing on from that. Um,
And
so
I don't want anybody to minimize this real quick. So like let's take 500 classes, right? 500 classes, 5 days a week. There's
yep,
100 weeks, right? So if you
yep,
came 5 days a week
for
for
2 years.
1.92 years,
Yep.
that's what would be required to get you to 500 classes. And so like no weeks off, no going on vacation, summer
Yep.
breaks, like, oh, there's a snowstorm. Fuck it, I'm going. Like,
Yep.
I'm gonna get that
Yep.
500. Like, that's a
Yeah.
serious deal.
Yeah. Um, so it's a big deal doing that, like
Mm-hmm.
little bit of, whether it's a shout out on the whiteboard, whether it's a shout out in class, whether it's, I mean, we do like the picture on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, giving that member or those members somewhat of a shout out, you know, it does wonders
Yeah.
for your community. There's little things like that that you can do, um, you know, while you're coaching within your affiliate to make a massive difference in your community and with those members
Yep.
to make them feel really special. That will just invigorate them more to keep
Yep.
coming to the gym. And they hit 500, they get a picture on the wall, they feel like a rock star. We do a member of the month,
Yep.
so each month, and I know there's a lot of affiliates do this, but where you know the coaching staff at each gym is like, hey, who's been showing up to class like really consistently,
Yep.
who's been putting in the work and like
Yep.
making these little steps. It doesn't mean you have to like deadlift 500 pounds,
No,
but
it's not
it's
performance
not
based.
it's not performance based. It's for us, it's like it's consistency, attitude when they show up to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and continue to work on like the little things,
Yeah.
like how well do they, if I say, hey, let's bring the weight down and go a little bit faster, do they actually listen, or do they just keep slapping weight on that thing and ignoring what I'm saying, stuff like that. um and so we pick a member of the month, and same thing, they get a shout out, they do like a
Mm-hmm.
little I send them just like little question stuff about you, like what was your first CrossFit workout, what movement do you despise the most,
Yeah.
what's if you're weekend barbecue cookout, whatever it is, what's your favorite food that you're going to go to, type deal.
Yeah.
um Something people might not know about you, they get a shout out, that the whole thing, so they're a member of the month. So it's little things like that can go a long way, in your community and with
Oh
your
yeah.
culture. So
Yeah. And all in, you know, and this isn't in any way to disparage affiliates that don't do these things, right?
nope, nope.
Because like it's hard.
Hmm.
It's hard to set up systems and make it so that these things are taken care of. Like from a small business perspective, like a lot of times, um, the people who start affiliates, they might not come from business backgrounds. They just love CrossFit and
Hmm.
they want to be able to make that same experience available to other people. Um, and so it when those things happen in an affiliate, like you got an affiliate that does a member of the month club, you got an affiliate that does, a regular, especially regular community events, like
Hmm.
one per quarter or something like that. And like Murph doesn't count. Um,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion
Yeah.
because like
Yep.
that seems like a prerequisite. Like you should be doing Murph.
Yep.
Um,
I agree.
and things things like that, those intangibles, the person who took the time to set up those systems and make sure that they operate, and like that's something special because setting up an affiliate labor wise is a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Logistically is not that difficult. You know, like if Kev and I wanted to open an affiliate, this is how simple it would be. We'd put in an application to CrossFit. We would
Hmm.
fill out an essay to justify why they should let us become an affiliate and what name we wanted. They
Hmm.
would give us a choice of names. We'd pick a name. We'd identify a location, and then we would both go apply for credit lines, like $30,000 each.
Hmm.
And we'd call Rogue or Again Faster or Rep Fitness or whatever, and we'd put in the world's biggest order
The
and
world's biggest order.
for real,
Yep.
and spend, 5 grand demoing and renovating and building out a bathroom and making sure everything's to code and all that stuff. And then bang, affiliate, right?
Yep.
It's a lot
Yep.
of work to get there, but
Yep.
it's not rocket science, right? So,
The hardest part would be like unloading the truckload of
oh,
$60,000 worth of rogue stuff. Because if we're
right?
opening, and here's, when it comes to opening an affiliate, that's tough. Is like back if you open an affiliate somewhere between 2005 and 2000, like 11, 12, somewhere in that
Hmm.
range.
Hmm.
If you open an affiliate, then you could start with a handful of equipment and kind of like get more equipment as it grows.
Yeah.
But now I feel like because everyone sees what gyms are like, because they get posted on, they see commercials about it, they see the CrossFit games, all the fancy equipment. When people show up to an affiliate, like they want that thing ready to rock.
Yeah.
So you better have like 60 feet plus worth of rig and 10 of everything, 10
Parallel
rowers,
to a
10
turf.
bikes, 10, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 10 bikes, 10 skiers, 10 rowers, 10 of each barbell, the whole deal. And that ain't cheap.
You know, you're right. It ain't cheap. It's incredibly
No,
expensive.
very much
Um,
so.
at some point, I have got to. So, Bertie, Nathan Bird, the director for CrossFit Gymnastics, he helped design a gym in like Qatar or Doha or something like that.
Okay, nice.
This is hands down the most impressive fitness facility I have ever seen with my eyeballs. And then they had someone for marketing,
Yeah,
they had someone do a drone fly through of the entire facility.
that's cool.
Oh,
That's
it
awesome.
I got I'll hit him up and I'll find that video. It's amazing. But it's so like that all of that is to say like if you were going to do something like that, the other bunch of work on the front end, you'd hire like a gym launch and they would come in and they would sell out the gym before you ever open the door. Like that would be
Mhm.
the way that you would responsibly do that. Um, the other thing that you could do, and I disagree with your point on this. I believe in today's day and age, you absolutely could do a nouveau Greg Glassman and you have what was it that street parking or something like that? They started in their backyard and they moved to a building when
Mhm.
the city filed a grievance against them. And like, you
Yep.
can't operate a gym out of your backyard anymore because they had like 50 people or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think you could do that. Like,
You
start
would just
in.
need the right people to,
Well,
come in and
I think the right people is definitely a thing, and like part of that is the right coaches, the right whatever, whatever. But like,
yep. Yep.
that's 100% possible. And what's good about that is you'll never overextend yourself. You know, so
Right.
you if I was to do this in my garage, I got enough gear to fill out personal training clients throughout the day if I wanted to. And then
Mhm.
if I wanted to run group stuff, it would be, smaller classes, body weight stuff, things like that. And I could probably at a certain point fund it enough to get a bunch of barbells and a bunch more plates and like, okay, now we got options and stuff like that. And as it would start to grow, at some point, one of my neighbors would file a complaint against me. And it's like, okay, once that happens,
Yep.
then it's big enough that I got to go someplace else.
Yeah.
Um, but can you imagine like doing that? And I think it's incredibly foreign for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
it would be so cool to see done
It'd be
at the same
so
time.
awesome. It'd be
Yeah.
so awesome. But then you'd have your neighbor be like, "All right, listen, 7 times a day, this dude is just blasting Skrillex, and I'm over it.
I swear to
I'm
God,
over
Mr.
it."
Mr. Councilman, if
Yeah.
I hear Big Booty Mix one more time,
One more fucking time. Oh my gosh.
nobody should be subjected to this.
It's just on a loop all day, and I can't
Well,
take it anymore.
so you know the way around that? You offer a free workout for everybody in the neighborhood.
I don't know if well, yeah, that would maybe make it better, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
All right. Well, we're right at the 40-minute mark. Um, and I want to be mindful of Kevin's time. I got fuck all to do now. So
Yeah.
this is great.
Listen,
Um,
I've just given you more time in your day. You're
I
welcome
appreciate you. Yeah.
to be more productive. I gotta go, inflict some damage in 7 minutes.
Short version, like look for the things that aren't on a whiteboard
Hmm.
and aren't on a gear rack someplace.
Yep.
Like the things that set the affiliate apart. This is just my opinion. And I think Kevin shares this.
I agree.
The intangibles. That's what's
Yep.
going to tell you the value of your affiliate.
Yep. The stuff that separates them isn't something you can grab or hold on to.
Absolutely. Wow,
Um,
what a great fucking line. Good job.
oh, thanks, man.
This is what having a cup of coffee ahead of the other guy will do for you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. This is what, by the time now, since I've been up for 4 hours now, everything's like we're moving. The gears
Oh,
are
I
turning.
know. All
That's
right.
it.
All right. Thanks for playing along at home, everybody. And Kev, go have a great rest of your day and
You as
stay
well.
virtuous, people. We'll see you.